What up, everyone? You know who I am. I'm Jack Slater, man, the comic outlaw. Yeah, so hit us up on YouTube, man. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, if you know what I'm saying. Yes. And your boy's been chilling, man. Super villain doing this and that. And, due to recent events that's been going on in this universe, I've had time to sit and chill and just elevate my thoughts, if you know what I'm saying. And I've been enjoying different stuff from your plane of reality. And I just managed to stumble across this little gem right here. Check that out, Stargirl, Season 1. Now, I know what you're saying, Outlaw. Why? Why Stargirl? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm a big fan of the Justice Society of America. Jeff Johns did a fantastic job in that run. And everyone loves the Justice League. And don't get me wrong, the Justice League by far has made more cartoons, movies. The characters are more popular. Certain people have heard of the JSA, some people haven't. They were the original team. The original Flash with the silver helmet, the original Green Lantern who made his lamp from a meteorite that fell. Wasn't part of the Green Lantern Corps. It was magic. It had Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in it, but they weren't. They were in it, but they were always too busy, or they would guest star. So it had people like Hourman, Hawkman, Starman, the original Atom, which was actually just a tiny guy with big muscles and knew how to kick some ass. Spectre, Sandman. So it had all these different characters, and they went off and fought World War II. They came back. They disappeared for a bit. Depending on what story you read, either it was McCarthyism that made them disappear, the changing times, them retiring. So pick a number. I mean, DC has restarted itself and is probably going to restart itself again. So you really never know what's going to happen. But these guys were the old school. They were part of the golden age of DC Comics. They've made appearances in like Batman Beyond, a couple things like that. Otherwise, it's been real sporadic. Jake Garrick has made appearances in The Flash. It's very cool. The Justice Society has made appearances in Legends. So that's actually worth watching. That was a very interesting kind of crossover right there. But this Stargirl, check it out, guys, so you can get the full on effect here. This was interesting. This happens, like, kind of talks about Courtney Whitmore and her going to a new school that, surprise surprise, has a lot of villains in it. And this is also personal for Jeff Johns because he based this character on his stepsister who ended up passing away. And I thought it was a great tribute. There's a lot of heart in this. And you could feel Jeff Johns' fingerprints on this. Even when he's not writing episodes, you can feel that it has its very distinct touch on it. And I think that's great. I think it's necessary. For he created this character for his sister, and she was part of the JSA, and it was kind of a revamp. A Power Girl was in it. Man. And that was kind of like the Jeff Johns run where he kind of moved her in. And this does not tell that story. Okay? I did not know what to expect coming into this. Like I said, I've read the JSA. I've read in the early 90s. I read the Jeff Johns run. I've been reading on and off most of my life. A lot of the classic stories, the volume books, like the greatest stories that were ever told. It was a big volume back in the day. So I really kind of didn't know what to expect. I like that they're kind of making it a separate story. It's in a town called Blue Valley. And it has Luke Wilson as Pat, because her stepfather is actually her sidekick, and he has a big robot, that robot right there. And at one point they were known as Stars and Stripes, but he starts out as, spoilers, I always spoil everything, so if you don't want to do it, just go na 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 na, because I'm about to drop fucking all kinds of bombs. Just telling you now, na 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 na, if you don't want to hear it. But yeah, he was Starman's sidekick back in the day, and it starts off with a battle between the JSA and the Injustice Society. So very interesting. And the guy, Hal, I think his last name is. He was from Community. He plays the original Starman, and it's just a lot of fun. It's always great to start off with a battle, and it goes on years later, and this girl's trying to find her place. Courtney. They move to a new town. At this point, Pat is actually with her with her mother. So they're kind of married, Pat's her stepfather. They have another little kid who I believe is kind of like Jeff Johns in some ways, And she ends up finding the staff, and the staff chooses her, and she becomes a new Stargirl, thinking that Starman's her father. And later on, I'm not going to spoil everything. You find out if Starman's her father or not. She ends up recruiting other members after finding out there are supervillains in town, and Pat kind of finds this out too. They're using this town as an experiment to kind of take over the world, and details I will keep under wraps. That way you guys can watch it. I don't want to spoil everything, but man, the bad guys in this, Icicle is just a cold motherfucker, man. A very complex villain. He has love and hate about him. He's a very complete villain. Sportsmaster is in this. It has a lot of different Easter eggs. Okay, little things that if you're a comic book fan, you're gonna notice right away. And it's a really cool trip. I love the girl they select. They selected Latina for Wildcat, is really cool. The girl they picked for Dr. Midnight. Oh my god! And then there's still Dr. Midnight. Dr. Midnight is sort of still alive, kind of. Like I said, a lot of the villains. The storyline goes really well. It doesn't really drag from one episode to another. Rex Tyler's son, Our Man Jr. That actually happens in the comics, that his son does take over. So it does kind of connect. It does tell kind of the story in the comic books. It takes pieces from it, and it combines it into something new and something very cool. It's actually worth watching, although my one gripe is that a lot of the bad guys are guys, and a lot of the good guys are women. And I'm hoping to see more male characters as it goes on. Right now we only have Our Man and Stripe, which is cool, but it would be cool to see some other members as it goes on. I just don't want it to be all girls and two boys. That's just, that's kind of the opposite of what they were complaining about all these years ago, But I really want to see where this goes. But not needless to say, I love all the characters so far. Don't get me wrong. The girl they picked for Dr. Midnight, hilarious. She's a sort of pseudo superhero in training. But let's open this up. Check it out, guys. So you see 3 discs. And I think you get 4 episodes. No, it's all 13. 13 episodes altogether. And like I said, this has a lot of back and forth. There is tragedy in it, of course, how and what happened to the JSA, what happened to some of their kids, and what happened just in general. And most of all, this gives you an idea of legacy and family. And that's what I believe always separated the JSA from the Justice League, because Justice League was fighting, they seem to be a bunch of individuals. The JSA was a family. In the comics, Wildcat's son ends up taking over. Green Lantern's kids ends up joining the JSA. It's more about family, and this gives you the idea of family, not just on the good guy side, but on the supervillain side as well. Like I said, it's very well balanced. You get to see what family life is like, even if you are a hero or a supervillain. What you'll do for your children, or what you'll do for your cause, whether it's for justice or injustice, and even in some ways the Injustice Society of America plan is evil, yet they're trying to save everyone. So it's just a good run. I recommend it. I can't wait for season 2. Like I said, Stargirl, just check it out, you guys. I mean, it is worth it. The girl they found for Courtney is just a wonderful actor. Luke Wilson's in it. And like I said, I don't want to spoil a lot of the surprises. I've given you guys a taste, but I guarantee you, it's worth chowing down on the whole hamburger, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this is Jack Slater, Comic Outlaw, doing another review, doing what I do. I highly recommend it. So if you're sitting at home chilling like a villain, watch Stargirl, man. Yeah, Icicle, my motherfucker. Watch it and you'll see what I'm talking about. And as always, I will catch you on the flip side, man.